Hello everyone. Alright, for this video, it's going to be a follow-up to the video I did for symptoms similar to COVID-19, and this was for illness number 6. So if you haven't watched my other videos in this series, I talk about how for the past 2.5 years I've been getting symptoms similar to COVID-19 at least 6 times already. And I always say that I'm not sure if it's really COVID-19 because I've never been tested. Correction, I did a home test once and that came out negative, but I had lost of taste and smell after that, so I find that kind of odd. For this follow-up video, I'm going to talk about what happened after the majority of my symptoms disappeared and if I did fully recover from illness number 6. So it took me about 2 weeks to fully recover. No symptoms are remaining from what I discussed in that video. Now, what I noticed, the 3 symptoms that took a while to disappear were nausea, and that eventually went away. Still had some phlegm in the morning. That disappeared, and then I was stuck with a cough. So in my last video for illness number 6, I did predict that I thought the cough would be the last to go. The problem with the cough was it seemed like I was getting better, but I had 2 episodes. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was coughing heavily and frequently. It got to the point that I was coughing so much that my throat became really sore. It was just from the repeated actions of coughing non-stop for at least an hour or 2. And that did interfere with my sleep. So those nights I couldn't sleep well. When I did finally fall asleep, I had this apprehension that I was gonna wake up again to go through those coughs again. So I kept waking up because I didn't want that to happen. So after those 2 episodes where I had the severe coughing at night, about 5 days later, my cough would gradually disappear. I would only cough maybe 3 or 4 times during the day, and eventually got to where I would just cough once or twice. And now, no more coughs. So for illness number 6, and I touched on this briefly in that video, was I didn't feel the fatigue. And usually for the past 5 illnesses that I had, after my symptoms disappeared, I would have fatigue for at least 3 to 4 weeks, and it really interfered with my daily life. I found myself having to take a nap midday most of the time. It was a little bit more difficult to get through my workouts. I didn't really have the energy or the stamina to deal with my clients and my students and other people. It felt like I was just trying to get through the day. Not that I was neglecting anyone, but it took a lot of effort for stuff that should have been simple daily mundane tasks that typically don't take a lot of effort when I'm not sick. So for this illness, I don't have that fatigue now, and I haven't had it even during the illness or even before I started to notice symptoms. Another thing that I noticed differently from the other 5 illnesses was I didn't have shortness of breath, and this surprised me. So before, just going up the stairs or just even during my workouts, I would have to stop, catch my breath. It felt like I was carrying heavy loads or I did like a short sprint. So I didn't experience that this time. Now, I did have one incident of palpitations, but it was very minor and very short. So it wasn't like past incidents where I would literally have to stop what I was doing and take care of it. But this one, I noticed it and I was like, oh, what's going on? But it passed quickly. And then I had what I thought was going to be an anxiety or panic attack. I could feel it starting and I was thinking, oh my goodness, not again. This is gonna be like last November and December. I'm gonna go through these anxiety and panic attacks again. Started to breach and then it disappeared. So that was also short too, but it did cause me to stop what I was doing and think, is this going to be an anxiety or panic attack? And it didn't turn into a full one. I was able to suppress it at that time. I did say that I would stop my workouts for 1 week, and I did. I stuck to it. It was very hard. I like to work out almost every day, but I did it, and when I resumed again, it was like I never stopped working out. I still had my strength, still had my muscular endurance and stamina, and I was actually able to progress further from the last week of my workouts before I stopped. So in a way, I gave my body a break, and maybe it helped me get over the symptoms a lot faster than previous episodes. So some of the things I did to help with my recovery was I tried to get some sun. I tried to get natural sources of vitamin D from the sun. There's a lot of research out there showing that vitamin D from the sun is helpful in managing COVID-19 symptoms. Once again, I am saying I'm not sure if I had it, but I treated myself as possibly I did, got some sun, and that seemed to help with me recovering pretty fast. I also increased my carbohydrate intake. Since my body was fighting an illness, it needs a lot of energy. So I ate a lot more carb sources to help fuel my body. Of course, I drank plenty of fluids, mostly water, and I try to keep my electrolytes high. That was another thing that I did. And just like I mentioned earlier, I didn't exercise. I also try to go to bed early, or try to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I tried, but during some periods of my illness, there was a couple nights that I didn't sleep well. So ever since I made that video, illness number 6, about 3 weeks ago, I noticed a lot of people around me were coughing, sneezing out loud. Yeah, they need to cover their mouths, but they don't. I did mention before phlegm. I saw people spitting up phlegm in different areas. But the one that really I noticed that stood out the most, that the majority of people had, was the coughs. The coughing was the number one symptom I saw. I could tell a lot of people were trying to suppress the cough. I could tell. And me too, I said it too before, I was trying to suppress that cough. It's hard, it's really hard. All right, that pretty much wraps up illness number 6. And if I had any lingering symptoms and other issues since my last video, all I can do is try to stay healthy, make sure that I'm getting an adequate diet with good nutrition, do my exercise, and don't overtrain, and try to sleep, get good quality sleep. That's all I can do. Hope my body is ready for the next episode of illness that I may get. That's it, everyone. Please leave any questions or comments in this video, and I will try my best to respond. All right. See you all later.